the end.
This is the end. It's hot outside. The earth is heating. Tax us. I heard a conspiracy theorist say it was summer, but that was a lie. The government teaches us there is no summer. If the winter comes or the spring comes, it's Al-Qaeda. Tax me, tax me. The sun has nothing to do with it. Al Gore says so. He invented the internet. He's a genius. All right, Daryl Rundis. You were calling into the show. I apologize. Go ahead.
That's okay, man. I just called because it seemed like you could use a word of encouragement. I know it gets frustrating fighting for the truth.
I am a bit of a pouty pot today.
No, it's okay. In fact, it brings me to my point, which is the number one rule, the very first rule when it comes to waking people up. You know what it is?
Be obnoxious.
Yeah, that too.
No, I'm just.
No, actually, quite the contrary. You never get mad at the blind man. You remember we talked about this. It's so hard not to, because some of these people just seem so arrogant or ignorant. It gets so frustrating. When
yes, they're arrogant about their stupidity. It's like they have a possession. No, I don't want to know that. There is no such thing as summer. Shut up. It's a conspiracy.
And in the same way, though, if you're sitting at a bus stop and a blind man walks by and he tripped over you and fell down, you wouldn't say, "Hey, you stupid blind man, watch where you're going." No, you'd take compassion on him.
No, you take him to a FEMA camp as Al-Qaeda.
Well,
you'd euthanize him because he's bad for the earth. He's got a carbon footprint.
Absolutely. But that's where, we have to be patient. We have to be diligent and persistent in our efforts. But at the same time, hey, it's our job to do what you're already doing, and that is just continue to sow the truth, the seeds of truth to people. And, hey, let them fall where they may. Some will find good soil, and they'll produce good fruit. Most of them won't. In fact, I wanted to call to give a wake-up call and a word of encouragement to you, but a wake-up call to many Christians. I heard you reading the Word, one of the Psalms the other day, and so I thought of you when I saw this in Scripture. I thought you'd want to hear it. You want to hear it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, this is Jesus, straight from the Lord himself in Luke 12, talking about the last day.
Now, wait, this is going to be banned soon. I'm not kidding. Under the new hate crime law about to pass the Senate, if what you're about to read hurts someone's feelings, and in Canada, they arrest preachers. This is actually, it happened in Philadelphia. They arrested preachers. What you're about to read here is, it's soon to be banned in the U.S., but I guess that's what the 4th of July is all about. So before this is banned, go ahead and read it.
Yeah, I would say it's no longer Independence Day. It's more like Interdependence Day, dependent on the government.
Yes, dependent on the government day. Go ahead and read these, and I'm not kidding, soon to be banned evil, according to the media.
Definitely would classify for hate speech, but I'm quoting the Bible, the age-old truth of the Scriptures, and this is, once again, Jesus himself saying this, not to the unbeliever, okay, but to those who say they believe, okay? So listen close to what he says in Luke 12, starting with verse 42. He says, "Who then is the faithful and wise manager whom the master puts in charge of all his servants to give them their food allowance at the proper time? It'll be good for that servant whom the master finds doing so when he returns. I tell you the truth, he'll put him in charge of all his possessions. But suppose the servant says to himself, 'My master is taking a long time in coming,' and then he begins to beat the other men's servants and maidservants, and to eat and drink and get drunk." Now listen closely to what Jesus says he's going to do to those people who are mocking and making fun of those who are standing up for liberty and truth and for justice. It says, "The master of that servant will come on a day when he does not expect him, and at an hour he's unaware of. And he'll cut him into pieces and assign him a place with the unbelievers. That servant who knows his master's will and does not get ready or does not do what the master wants will be beaten with many blows. But the one who does not know and does things deserving of punishment will be beaten with but a few blows." So it's a whole lot worse to know.
Stay there, Daryl. Stay there, Daryl. Do 5 more minutes with us. And I'm not kidding. In fact, people don't believe this. Google pastors arrested Philadelphia for preaching and charged as hate criminals because they said that the anti-abortion message was hurtful. And this is on a street corner. And then also in Canada, they are arresting people that read from the Old and New Testament. So we're going to continue to commit crimes in 1 minute. Stay with us.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Be sure to visit GCNlive.com today.
What can you do to keep you and your family safe from the resistant new strains of deadly bacteria and viruses? Check out supernaturalsilver.com today.
or visit the link on Infowars.com to find out more about this incredible new silver compound. The new silver solution is a natural antibiotic that is clinically tested to kill viruses, germs, bacteria, and yeast safely. This new technology has proven itself to be a formidable weapon against bio-threats of today and tomorrow. The new silver solution gel has been shown to disinfect topically and keep the area sanitized for up to 4 hours. The new silver solution is a highly effective, potent nanoparticle solution that is lethal to bacteria, yeast, and viruses. Go to supernaturalsilver.com and see the amazing line of products they have available. Check out the patented new silver solution today. Click on the link and check out the uses for new silver solution. Order this extra line of defense today by going to supernaturalsilver.com. That's supernaturalsilver.com today.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
All right, my friends, we are now into the final hour already of this transmission. I do want to get into the whole hate crime legislation. I've read the subsections over and over again for you on air. I can't believe this is in there. I can't believe this is happening. And I do want to take your phone calls in the next segment before I get into all of that for those that have been patiently holding. But Daryl Rundis got interrupted by the satellite break there. So, Daryl, you were explaining that parable there given by Christ about this test that is this life and what's going to happen to people that use their stewardship and their knowledge to abuse the lesser people. And I also like the story of better to tie a millstone around your neck than to hurt one of these. And I see that not just as physical children, but also as retarded children or special needs type people or the old, how the elite, how the predators love to feed on the weak. They are certainly going to be punished for that.
Absolutely. In fact, what this scripture that I just read you in Luke 12 says clearly, though, is those who don't know, in other words, those that don't know him, and they don't live for him, they serve Satan and not God. They hate God, therefore they love death. Those people are in less trouble with Jesus when he returns than those who call themselves believers. Keep in mind, he's not addressing this to the unbeliever. He says he's going to assign these people with the unbelievers. So he's talking about believers here. He's saying, hey, if that wicked, lazy servant doesn't get up and get out and do the master's will, which is to stand up for peace and truth and liberty and justice and what's right and what's good, he's going to cut them into many pieces and give them many blows. They're going to be assigned a place with the unbelievers, only they're going to be tortured even worse.
Well, what about all these Christians that are saying war and death and all of this stuff is a good thing and even killing people's kids in front of them? Suddenly that's a good thing. Suddenly carpet bombing cities is a good thing. Suddenly corruption and lying about WMDs is a good thing. These aren't really Christians.
No, absolutely not. And that's what's sad. In fact, I'm going to quit calling myself a Christian and start calling myself a Christ follower or something, because so many people claim to be a Christian, and it's, they may serve him with their lips, but their hearts are far from him, because I don't know anybody who could love righteousness, who could be a light of the world, and yet allow all these evil deeds that are done in darkness and never expose them, or even worse, start to beat their fellow maid servants or men servants and make fun of them and mock them. I get rebuked all the time. Every time I post a story on my Facebook, I got Christian after Christian lining up to mock me, make fun of me, call me a tinfoil hat-wearing crazy conspiracy theorist. And sadly, none of them have done the research. None of them have done the work. In fact,
well, it's more than that. They don't even want to know, Daryl. They get into being ignorant, and their religion is being ignorant. And you can give them mainstream news about the preachers covertly hired by FEMA. FEMA's saying they're getting ready for forced inoculations. I don't know if they're going to do it, but they're certainly saying they're getting ready. Homeland Security doing drills with foreign troops, and they just laugh. So they're the kooks. It's their religion to laugh at us.
Absolutely. And what's even more wicked about it is that here they say, oh, it's all going to happen anyways. There's nothing I can do. God's in control, so I'm just going to pray. And I ask them, look, if a tsunami was about to sweep across the land and wipe out thousands of people, and you knew it was coming, would you just sit there and say, well, God's in control, I'll just stand here and pray? Or would you run around on me. That's their job. And I just find it very sad. In fact, it reminds me of another scripture, and it also reminds me of you in 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 9 through 12. It reminds me of people drinking the Kool-Aid, as you call it. It says, the coming of the lawless one will be in accordance with the work of Satan displayed in all kinds of counterfeit miracles, signs, and wonders, and in every sort of evil that deceives those who are perishing. They perish because they refuse to love the truth and so be saved. And for this reason, God sends them a powerful delusion so that they will believe the lie. And they do. They buy the lie. They love the lie, don't they?
Exactly. This entire New World Order system is openly coming out in the open. It's the best time ever to wake people up. And the Christians look at their watch and go, I'm about to get raptured. I'm glad things are getting bad. I'm not going to help anybody. Do you really think God's going to save you then if you have that attitude? Daryl, stay there one more minute.